In one story, a knight enters a dark cave to kill a dragon and claim its treasure. In another, an emperor sits beneath the image of a dragon to show that heaven has given him the right to rule. One dragon is a monster. The other is a symbol of divine power. They do not even look alike. One has enormous wings, 4 powerful legs, and enough fire to destroy a city. The other moves through clouds on a long, serpentine body, often without wings at all. And yet, in English, we call both of them dragons. So how did two creatures from opposite sides of the world come to share the same name, and why do they play such different roles in their stories? The first thing to understand is that they were never simply two regional versions of the same imaginary animal. The creature known in China as the long developed within its own mythology, art, religion, and relationship with nature. European dragon traditions followed many different paths of their own. Calling both creatures dragons is convenient. But it can also create the illusion that humanity once imagined a single universal monster, and that East and West merely disagreed about what it looked like. The truth is much more interesting. To understand the Western dragon, imagine that you are approaching its territory. Before you ever see the creature, you see what it has done. The fields are burned. A village has been abandoned. Bones lie near the entrance to a cave. And somewhere in the darkness is a pile of gold greater than any human being could possibly spend. The dragon does not simply live there. It occupies the land. It possesses something valuable, and it refuses to let anyone else approach it. This is why the dragon so often appears near the end of a hero's journey. In Beowulf, an aging king faces a dragon guarding a hidden treasure hoard. In the story of Sigurd, the dragon Fafnir lies upon his gold until the hero kills him. In the legend of St. George, a dragon threatens an entire community before a warrior confronts it. These stories are very different from one another, and they come from different times and traditions. But they share a familiar pattern. The dragon stands between the hero and something the hero must reach. It may guard treasure. It may threaten a kingdom. It may hold a community in fear. Defeating it does more than remove a dangerous animal. It proves that the hero is brave enough, strong enough, or worthy enough to enter the next stage of the story. The dragon becomes the final test. That is also why the treasure matters. The dragon has enormous wealth, but it does nothing with it. It creates nothing. It shares nothing. It simply guards what it has taken. In this kind of story, the dragon can represent destructive power, greed, chaos, or a threat that civilization must overcome. But we should be careful. There was never one fixed Western dragon. Medieval artists drew them in wildly different forms. Some had wings. Some looked like enormous snakes. Some resembled strange mixtures of birds, reptiles, lions, and creatures that never existed. The familiar four-legged, winged, fire-breathing dragon is powerful today partly because modern fantasy has turned it into a recognizable design. Western dragons were not always identical, and they were not always used in exactly the same way. Even so, the image of the dragon as an adversary, the creature that must be confronted, became one of the most influential patterns in Western storytelling. Now leave the cave. Put away the sword. And look toward the clouds. Imagine that you live in a farming village in ancient China. For months, there has been no rain. The river is shrinking. The soil is splitting beneath your feet. Every day without water brings the village closer to disaster. Then the clouds begin to gather. Thunder moves across the sky. And among the storm clouds, you see the body of a dragon. Would you reach for a weapon? Probably not. You might pray that it has come to bring rain. The Chinese dragon was strongly connected with water. Dragons appeared among clouds, waves, rivers, lakes, and seas. Dragon kings were believed to rule watery realms and influence the weather. This made the dragon more than a spectacular animal. It was connected to forces upon which human survival depended. Rain could mean food, prosperity, and life. But that does not mean the Chinese dragon was simply a friendly version of the Western dragon. A being associated with rain could also withhold it. A ruler of rivers could bring water to the fields, or allow those rivers to flood homes and destroy crops. Natural power is not good merely because human beings need it. The same storm that saves one village can destroy another. The Chinese dragon was respected not because it was always gentle, but because its power was too important to ignore. Humans could pray to it, honor it, negotiate with it in stories, or suffer after offending it. The relationship was not simply hunter and monster. It was closer to the relationship between human beings and a powerful natural order, something capable of generosity, anger, protection, and disaster. This helps explain how the dragon eventually became such a powerful symbol of imperial authority. The emperor did not prove his legitimacy by killing a dragon. He surrounded himself with its image. Dragons appeared on imperial robes, thrones, buildings, and ceremonial objects. In the Qin court, details such as the number of claws and the arrangement of symbols could reflect rank and status. The dragon was a fitting symbol for an emperor because it connected different realms. It moved through water. It rose into the sky. It traveled among clouds and commanded forces beyond ordinary human control. An emperor who associated himself with the dragon was not presenting himself as a heroic dragon slayer. He was claiming a connection to the dragon's authority. This is where the deepest difference begins to appear. It is not simply wings versus no wings. It is not fire versus water. And it is definitely not as simple as evil versus good. The real difference is the role the creature often plays in the human world. In many Western stories, the dragon possesses power that the hero must overcome. It blocks the road. It guards what has been taken. It threatens the community. The hero becomes greater by confronting it. In many Chinese traditions, the dragon represents a power that ordinary humans cannot simply defeat. It is connected to the weather, the rivers, the harvest, political authority, and the order of the world. A warrior may fight a Western dragon and become a legend. But fighting a dragon that controls the rain may mean fighting the very system keeping your world alive. Perhaps the contrast can be understood this way. One dragon often asks whether a human being is strong enough to conquer power. The other asks whether human beings can live beneath power, respect it, and remain in balance with it. But neither tradition follows a single rulebook. Not every Western dragon is evil. Some guard sacred places, offer wisdom, or become symbols of protection and identity. And not every Chinese dragon is benevolent. Some are arrogant, violent, destructive, or indifferent to human suffering. Even the phrase, Western dragon, combines Greek, Norse, Christian, medieval, folkloric, and modern fantasy traditions that do not always agree with one another. And Chinese ideas about dragons have also changed across thousands of years, regions, religions, works of art, and popular stories. We are not comparing every dragon ever imagined. We are comparing two powerful storytelling patterns. And perhaps that is why dragons remain so fascinating. They may tell us less about imaginary animals than they tell us about ourselves. What kind of power do we fear? What kind of power do we admire? What should a hero conquer? And what must an entire civilization learn to respect? The West and China did not simply imagine dragons with different bodies. They used dragons to imagine different relationships between humanity and power.